Hey guys, and welcome to this week's episode of The Eagle's Eye. I'm Roxanne LeBound.
And I'm Sarah Pitkin.
And right now we're actually on Stanbridge Park and enjoying this nice sunshine weather day and just getting a little, well, we were exercising a little bit before, that's why I'm a little out of breath, but Sarah, you can tell us what's going to be going on today.
Yes, we're actually going to start off with an interview with Shaw about the PSATs that are coming up next week.
I'm so glad we are seniors, so we are exempt from taking them, and we get to come in late, and so this just be a great time of sleeping in and going to, like, what Shady Maple's too far away, isn't it?
I still think Shady Maple.
Oh, maybe if we wake up early enough to go there, and then, well, I mean, it'll be fine if we're a little late to school, right?
Yeah, it'll be fine.
We're seniors, it's whatever. But, let's go and see what's happening.
Hello, I'm Angela Polinsky here with Ms. Shaw to talk about the PSATs next Wednesday. Hello.
Hi.
Thank you for coming. When are the PSATs?
The PSATs are being given on Wednesday, October 12th.
And who's taking them?
10th and 11th grade students.
So do sophomores and juniors come to school at regular time?
Sophomores and juniors come to school at regular time.
Okay, and when they do report to school, where do they go?
They go directly to their homerooms.
Okay. So when sophomores and juniors are taking the test, where should freshmen and seniors be?
Freshmen and seniors should be at home. Freshmen and seniors are going to take the bus at a 3-hour delay. Mrs. Flamer is also offering the opportunity for any 12th graders who would like to take the time to spend with her to do college applications in the library. They can sign up with Mrs. Flamer in the College and Career Center if they would like to do that on that morning.
So will there be 2 sets of buses that come?
Correct. So the 10th and 11th graders are going to take their normal time bus, and then 9th and 12th grade students will take the bus at a 3-hour delay. So if a kid gets a bus at like 6:50, they would take a bus at 9:50 instead.
Okay. How many days is the PSAT testing?
It's just 1 day.
Okay. And would you speak a bit about the importance of doing well and trying your best on the PSAT?
The PSAT is a really important step in the road to the college process. In the guidance office, we talk to our students a lot about how we want them to be successful in school, because you have 4 years here where you want to take challenging classes and do well in your classes. The PSAT is the preliminary scholastic aptitude test. So it's the first step in getting ready for the SAT, which is what colleges use as part of their admissions process. So we want kids to take it seriously because it gives us the opportunity to see what students' strengths and weaknesses are for when they take the SAT.
And how does the score on the PSAT affect the National Merit Scholarship candidacy?
It's a very good question. For juniors, they are eligible for the National Merit Scholarship Corporation. The score you want is based off of the score for the entire country. So you want to do as well as you can to be considered to be a finalist for these scholarships.
What exactly is the National Merit Scholarship?
The National Merit Scholarship is the opportunity to get free money for college. So if you do really well on your PSATs and you get a really good score, you're entered to win all kinds of scholarships to get money for college.
Are sophomores eligible?
Sophomores are not eligible, only the juniors.
So would the sophomores taking their test be in preparation for their junior year, and when it would count more maybe for the National Merit Scholarship?
Absolutely.
Okay, and how can students prepare?
Well, there are several things that students can do. Guidance counselors went into English classes last week to hand out practice booklets. This is an example of one of them. In this guide, it has basic information about the PSATs, but it also has instructions that are in there about taking the test and some test-taking strategies. And there's also a full-length practice tests that students can take, and they can score and find out how they're doing. So if they wanted to take it this weekend before the test, they could do that. It's nice because you can see the kinds of questions that the PSAT is going to ask, and you can also find out what the directions are, because the directions on the PSAT for each section are exactly how they appear on the SAT.
Okay, so is the SAT a great deal in structure like the PSAT?
Absolutely. It's actually just a shorter version of it. The only thing that's missing from the PSAT that you do on the SAT is the essay that you write.
The 25-minute writing portion?
Correct.
Okay, is there a writing portion on the PSAT?
There is not a writing portion. That's one of the things that you still get a score based on writing questions that they ask, but there's not a writing portion. So if you happen to be a really good writer, then you could know that your writing score will be even better for when you take the SAT.
Okay. Do students have to pay for the PSAT?
No, we offer it for free for all 10th and 11th grade students, which is a really great opportunity because mostly you have to pay $18 and come on a Saturday at 7:30 to take it in the morning.
And is there anything else you'd like to say to students?
We really just want students to take this opportunity and do really well on it because it's a great opportunity to prepare for the SAT and to really get focused on this whole process of getting towards college.
Okay, well, thank you for coming.
Thank you.
And good luck to all of the sophomores and juniors taking the test on Wednesday. Now back to the Eagle's Eye.
Next interview is with Miranda Kravitz about the Otaku Club.
Yep, it sounds very interesting, and I guess if you're interested in that kind of stuff or even know what otaku means, and even if you don't, this will be a great interview to check out.
So let's go check that out.
Hello, I'm Tyrone Baker here with Miranda Kravitz for the Eagle's Eye. How are you doing today, Miranda Kravitz?
Good, you?
Good, pretty good, I'm good. So Miranda's here to talk about Otaku Club. First, can you tell me what is otaku, Miranda?
Well, otaku is a term that in Japan is actually really offensive and it implies a lot of rude things, but in America, it's what fans of anime and manga use to describe themselves.
Okay. What is anime and manga?
Anime is Japanese TV shows that are animated. It's often described as Japanese cartoons, but I wouldn't say that that's an accurate description because they often have complex plot lines that follow over into the next episode.
Okay. So would the show Bleach be considered anime?
Yes.
Okay. So where does this club take place at?
We meet in room 106, I believe. It's Miss Palizzi's room. It's in the art wing on the first floor.
Okay. And who participates in this club?
We have a couple dozen members. It's really cool. They vary in their experiences. We have some people who are really into pop culture, some people who are really into art. It's nice.
Okay. So do you only draw anime and manga in the Otaku Club here at NAHS?
Well, it's the only thing we draw, but that's not the only thing we do. We don't do just art.
Okay. So do you like practice the cultures of the Japanese people in these clubs?
We did have an event last year where we took the whole group to Sakura Sunday, which is a Japanese cherry blossom festival in Philadelphia. We also talk a lot about Japanese pop culture, and we do some stuff with Dojin culture as well.
Okay. And what are the differences, the slight differences between these cultures?
Well, there aren't really slight differences. I'd say there are huge differences. Dojin culture is the culture of the fans of anime and manga. It's things like anime conventions and what we do with each other, things that we create. Japanese pop culture is just what people in Japan are doing and what's popular over there.
Okay. And how could one sign up for the Otaku Club here at NAHS?
All you have to do is show up and be ready to introduce yourself.
Do you have to be a talented artist already?
Absolutely not.
Okay. Okay. Did you have anything else you would like to add today, Miranda?
Nothing that I can think of.
Okay. Well, I'm Tyrone Baker here for the Eagle's Eye. I just spoke to Miranda Kravitz, and now back to the Eagle's Eye.
So, Roxanne, what are you doing?
Well, I decided that in order to get into character to watch the Gorilla Girls interview, I had to be acting like a gorilla. So,
Just so you guys know, it's not this kind of gorilla. Once again, we have some interesting posters around our school with some interesting facts on them, and they're put out by a group called the Gorilla Group or something like
Girls.
Gorilla. I don't think it's Gorilla Girls, but whatever. But it's put out by them, and once again, it was done by Miss Kirker. So we're gonna go check out that interview to see what it's all about. Let's go check that out.
Hello, I'm Bernard Gordon, here to talk to Miss Kirker about the Gorilla Girls Project. So, how you doing, Miss Kirker? Good, how are you? What is the Gorilla Girls Project?
The Guerrilla Girls Project is an art project for the 9th and 10th grade Art Past the Paintbrush class that is based on the Guerrilla Girls group of artists. It's a contemporary art group that started around the 1980s, and it's a group of anonymous artists. It was a group of women artists that were speaking out about the lack of women representation in the major galleries. They wore gorilla masks, but they did guerrilla artwork in terms of that it was a small group of women going up against a very larger, powerful force. So they called themselves the Guerrilla Girls.
Who is involved?
The students that were involved were the 9th and 10th grade students. It's a new course about contemporary art. It's called Art Past the Paintbrush, Art in the 21st Century. So it was about 60 9th and 10th graders that were involved. The original Guerrilla Girls group is just a small group of women artists based out of New York.
When did it start?
The project started around the 1980s, and it just focused on feminist issues at the time, but then they have branched out to talk about issues of lack of representation of minority groups in galleries. Our project just started a couple of weeks ago, and it talks about lots of different issues.
What are some of the topics you guys covered?
I let the kids pick any issue because I knew that the women representation in the galleries would not be meaningful to many students. So what I had the students do was in their journals, they drafted up a list of issues that were important to them. And we had a huge range from having to wake up too early to school to racial, ethnic, and gender discrimination, and everything in between. People talked about violence, local violence, global violence, wars. So it was really interesting to see how interested the kids were in so many different topics.
Why did you decide to make this project?
It was actually really interesting because the first day of class, or the second day of class, I showed a slideshow of lots of different contemporary artists, and I mentioned the Guerrilla Girls, and one of the classes seemed really interested in the idea of women dressing up in gorilla masks and running around New York staging movements and doing posters. And they kept asking about it and asking about it. And I thought, well, what a great lead. And if they're already this interested in Guerrilla Girls, why don't we do a Guerrilla Girls project?
How has Norristown Area High School responded to this?
There's been mixed responses. Some of the posters were removed right away. Some things were seen to be inappropriate. Others were received very well, and other people said it was great to see the kids' opinion out there in such a widespread and such a poignant way.
What effect has this response have on the students?
It was really interesting having some of the artwork removed because it really taught the students about what happens with guerrilla artwork. When it does happen where you're raising some controversial things, as the Guerrilla Girls did, there's always a backlash. If you make pretty nice, polite artwork, it doesn't usually evoke a response, but when you make really socially poignant, politically charging artwork, it tends to evoke a response, and students really saw that happen. So if school is a microcosm of what happens in the real world, you know, some of the silencing taught us about contemporary art in a really close way.
Will you continue this project?
Absolutely. I think having some of the things removed and seeing how much the kids want to be heard makes me realize and makes some other people realize that we really need to start putting more artwork out there that does have a message other than being decoration, that art can change the world, art can educate, art can change ideas and create new ideas, and that's what these students are willing to do, and I fully support that. So full speed ahead, we're going to keep going.
Well, thank you, Ms. Kirker, for your time. Again, I'm Bernard Gordon, and back to the Eagle's Eye. Hello, I'm Bernard Gordon, here to talk to members of the Guerrilla Girls Project. What is the Guerrilla Girls Project?
The Guerrilla Girls went around New York City wearing gorilla masks, being anonymous, and they put up signs about feminism and racism and how it was wrong, and they were very sarcastic when they did it.
Guerrilla Girls is a group of girls that went around the world and passed out flyers saying like how not only men or race could stop art from being a nationwide thing. Like girls can do what men can do, and other race can do what other race can do.
What is the Guerrilla Girls Project?
The Guerrilla Girls Project is basically a project where you give a problem that is going around global or locally or just in your environment that you are. And it's just stating a problem of how and what the problem is and like how you are going to change it.
The Gorilla Girls project is a project that we did to expose how we felt about like racism or anything that we had a problem with.
Why do you remain anonymous?
We remain anonymous because we don't want people to just think that it's about us. We want people to know that it's not about us, it's about the whole nation and about other people that feel the same way.
We remain anonymous so that our artwork can get around as a group and not just individually.
Why do you remain anonymous?
We remain anonymous because we don't want people to, I guess, like we want it to like affect everybody and not so it can just affect us, I guess.
What was your piece about?
I did a piece of artwork that we hung around the school called Rude People, and it's just called Rude People.
My piece was about not to stereotype and how it was a form of ignorance.
My piece was about violence because when I did the research, it said that America had 1.8 million violent crimes in a year. And I said, well, if it was that much in a year, then what will it be by the end of next year? So that was my piece.
What inspired you to make it?
My inspiration was the fact that people were very stereotypical to me because of my race and how I looked.
What inspired me to make my piece was too many young people were dying, and I felt the need to tell the adults and tell other young people about the severity of other young people dying for no reason.
Can you describe your piece?
My artwork looked like it was on a white piece of paper that it had a test, like questions on it. It gave facts and information, and it also had a picture of a gorilla.
My piece said that I'm half Puerto Rican and half Laos, not to stereotype me. And it had a Puerto Rican flag and a Laos flag on it.
My piece stated the question and then my remark towards the question. Then it had a picture of a girl that had got beaten and that was part of a violent crime, and another girl that was just scared to talk to other people.
How has this project affected you?
This project affected me by people took my project down, so I knew that it really affected other people other than me.
How has this project affected you?
This project has affected me because now I feel better. I feel like I put the word out and let people know that it's something that needs to be done about violence, and it's a better way than doing violence.
It affected me because it made me more self-conscious about my thoughts without having to think twice about it.
Those were the Gorilla Girls, and so keep your eye out for their artwork around the building.
Our next interview is with Sean Carter about the marching band and indoor. And apparently Roxanne and I are not probably good at marching since we can't even march in sync, and I keep marching forward and she keeps marching back. But
there's only 2 of us too, so just think about the band where there's like 50 of them. So
yeah, and you know, it seems like something that's fun to do. So let's go check out what that's all about. Hi guys, I'm Sarah Pitkin here from the Eagles. I was Sean Carter, who's a member of the marching band. He's a senior, and we're going to talk a little bit about marching band and their upcoming indoor season. So how are you doing today?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. So how's your season been going?
Our season has been going pretty well for what we have this year.
How does this compare to seasons in the past?
Well, this season is a little special this year because we are not competing. We don't have a competitive field show. We are only going to football games and being supported for the football team. So it's not competitive. We're not as active as usual.
Why is that? Why aren't you guys competing?
It's a mixture of a few things. It's lack of of funding, I guess, and just lack of interest this year. A lot of people are not interested.
So when does marching band rehearse?
Marching band rehearse twice a week, Monday and Thursday, 6 p.m. to 9 p.m.
And after marching band comes indoor season. How does indoor season compare to marching band?
The indoor percussion ensemble is very similar to the marching band, except it's in the name, it's only percussion. It's mallet percussion, the front ensemble, which is called the pit, and the drum line. And it's just as competitive, just as active. It's very difficult. It's just indoor. It's inside. It's way fun.
Do you need experience to join that?
You don't need experience necessarily. We can teach you whatever it is that you would need to know, but experience is it's helpful to run the group more efficiently.
And how do you get involved in the indoor season? Are you guys recruiting new members?
We are recruiting a lot of new members as much as we can. There are many ways that you could get involved. Simply by going downstairs, you can talk to Mr. Trujillo about it. He's the band director here. You could also talk to any of the members that you know are involved to ask us questions, anything you'd like to know. And there are also sign-up sheets downstairs on the bulletin board in the music wing.
Do you guys ever miss any class to do rehearsals or anything, or is it strictly outside of school?
It is strictly outside of school. Towards the end of the year, some of the students that are caught up on everything that they do will see if they can get a pass from their teacher to go downstairs and practice some of the music, because it is very demanding and constant practice is necessary. So any practice time we can get, if you need to leave during lunch or during a class that's okay with, then you're welcome to come down.
All right, and I heard in past years that our indoor team is very successful. What kind of competitions have you guys been involved in?
We've been I wouldn't say it's a wide variety of competitions, because it's basically the same thing every time, but we go and compete against other schools. It's separated in divisions. There's Scholastic Open, which I believe is what we're competing in this year, which is the highest it goes as far as ability level. And then we'll compete against other schools from surrounding areas in our division and see basically who is the best at what we do.
And does it matter which grade you're in to join, or are you guys taking anybody?
We are taking anybody from, we have a couple middle school kids in it this year actually, which is not very common because it is very difficult, but middle school and high school kids, mostly high school kids, are what we're looking for.
And what is the difficulty level of the music you guys are playing?
It's sort of dependent on the person that you ask. I found it to be extremely difficult when I first started, just because I didn't know what I was getting myself into. The techniques that we use are, I don't want to say complicated, but they're very articulate, and it's hard to get down after. But I mean, after a while, it becomes easier and easier as you go along. So you definitely pick it up after a while.
All right, is there anything else you'd like to add?
I would like to add that we're recruiting still. There's a meeting on Monday, the 10th of October, I believe, from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. In the music wing, but it's going to be in the band room. So anybody who's interested in the activity, please come down.
All right, so thank you very much for coming out and speaking with us.
Thank you.
I'm Sarah Pitkin, and I just spoke to Sean Carter about marching band and indoor, and now back to the Eagle's Eye.
All right, now you see we found this really cool wooden truck, so obviously it's not going to go anywhere. Thank God, because Sarah's in the driver's seat right now. But, oh gosh. Sarah, tell them about what's going on.
So our next interview is about parking permits, which hopefully when this truck or tractor, whatever it is able to drive, it will not park at Norristown without a parking permit. Otherwise, it might get towed.
Yes, and so that's probably the main thing that we're going to be talking about is getting towed. Make sure if you park at Norristown Area High School, you have a parking permit, or else it's not going to be fun for you, but for everyone else that's watching you get towed away, it'll be a blast. Let's go check it out.
Hi, I'm Destiny Williams here from the Eagle's Eye, here to speak with Mr. Michaels. How are you?
Hi, great, thank you.
And we're going to talk about the parking permits today. So what is a parking permit?
A parking permit is a tag, basically, that we're asking students to place, and faculty as well, place on their mirror in their vehicle, so that all vehicles that are on Norristown High School property are easily identified.
What is it used for?
It's again used for security purposes mainly, so that we know when there's cars on campus that they are supposed to be here, that no one is trespassing, no one's here that shouldn't be here. So that's really for the safety of the students and everyone here at Norristown Area High School.
So is there like security checking the parking lots during the school day to see if everyone that has a parking permit has one?
Absolutely. Security regularly checks our lots, both the faculty lot and also the student lot. Also in conjunction with West Norton Police, they do drive-throughs, and they also make sure that students have parking permits as well as faculty.
What happens if you don't have a parking permit?
If you don't have a parking permit, we want you to get one. We encourage you to get one, and I'm sure we'll talk later how best to do that. But if you don't have one and security does acknowledge or notify us that there's a car out there, a vehicle out there, you run the risk of having that car booted or possibly towed.
How much do they cost? Where can you pick them up?
We sell the parking permits at each of the 3 lunches. So just simply come up to one of the lead teachers or vice principals at your lunch and let them know that you need a parking permit. There's a form that has to be signed by your parents and filled out completely. And once we have that and your money, we issue the parking permit to the student.
And they're located, the lead teachers are located at the front of the cafeteria?
Yes, in the front of the cafeteria.
Do they expire?
They expire at the end of the school year.
Oh, so they're good for the whole school year?
Yes.
If you don't have a car now, can you get one in the later year?
Yes, if you don't have a car now, or if you turn of driving age or just get your license later on in the school year, you simply come to us and let us know, show us your new driver's license or show us the new registration, and we even give it to you at the original rate of $10. So we're not going to punish you because you're a new driver or because you just got a vehicle and now are driving. You still get the $10 rate for that.
Okay, so what if you're like put in a situation where you don't drive your car to school every day, but you still have a car, like you still drive to school like once every 2 months or something like that? Do you still have to get a parking permit?
Yeah, absolutely. If you're going to drive your car to school at all, you have to get a parking permit for that.
Okay. Is there anything else you'd like to add?
Nope, that's it. Just that, you know, we encourage everyone to get them. It helps in a lot of ways. Sometimes students leave their lights on, or things might happen to the vehicle, and you know, it's real easy for us to look up the parking permit and let that student know, hey, your lights are on. That way your battery's not dead, or if, you know, by some chance someone dinged your car or hit it. You know, it's just easy for us to identify who did what and who's supposed to be in the parking lot, what cars are supposed to be there.
Okay. Well, thank you for being.
Oh, my pleasure. Thank you.
So this next segment is an interview with Mr. Schaefer, and we're going to be talking a little bit about breast cancer.
Yes, as you all might know, Breast Cancer Awareness Month is actually in October, so it's an important time for everybody to become aware.
Yes, very aware, and to also acknowledge the risks and everything that come with it and how to possibly help prevent it. So this is going to be an interesting interview.
Let's go check that out.
Hi, I'm Destiny Williams here with Mr. Schaefer to talk about the Breast Cancer Awareness Club. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Okay. So what is it important to know about breast cancer?
Well, breast cancer is all around us. It's not just here in Norristown. It's throughout the country and throughout the world. And probably somebody you know is affected by breast cancer.
Mm-hmm. And what is Norristown doing to celebrate Breast Cancer Awareness Month?
Breast Cancer Awareness Month is October, and we're having open sign-ups for all students to sign up for the Breast Cancer Awareness Club, and you can do that in room 316 anytime during the day, before school, during homeroom, or after school. And we will start planning our activities for the year.
Okay. And what is the importance of to spread breast cancer awareness?
Well, a lot of people don't know about breast cancer awareness, but thanks to organizations like the Susan Komen Foundation, more people are getting knowledgeable about it and more involved with breast cancer awareness. And so we're just doing our little part here at Norristown High School to spread that word.
Okay. And how many women are affected by breast cancer?
Well, fortunately, the number is going down. Breast
good.
cancer cases, new cases, is going down because so many more people are informed about the diagnosis, the treatment, and living with breast cancer. And there are much more effective ways of treating breast cancer, so we have more survivors.
That's good.
So the numbers are going down, but the numbers are still there, and it's not going away. It's not something like H1N1 or something like polio that can just be wiped off the planet. It's going to be there for quite a long time, and we have to be finding ways to help people along with it.
Mm-hmm. And can breast cancer affect just women, or can it affect men and women?
Nope, men and women. Predominantly in women, and there are certain demographics which have a higher incidence of breast cancer, but men can be affected too. So, and even husbands of breast cancer victims or breast cancer patients can be affected. It takes a toll on the entire family.
Okay. And are there any treatments? Like how do they work?
Well, I wish I could tell you there's a cure, but there's not a cure, and unfortunately, so there's hospitals all across the country and right here in our area which are working hard to help women and men with breast cancer, and one of them is the Montgomery County Hospital Cancer Center. They're helping patients with all types of treatments. They're doing one that they started a couple years ago called NanoSite, where they inject just a little bit of radiation into a woman instead of radiating her whole body, which, you know, if you know anything about radiation, it just can really devastate the body. So if you can just put a little bit where we need it or where it's needed, it can change the way we treat breast cancer.
Yeah. So how does breast cancer affect the people around the person that's sick?
It's a huge impact, and one of the things that most women talk about is the support system that they have, and it usually starts with the family, works out into a job site or a neighborhood, and then eventually into the community. And with programs like the one we have here, which we started about 6 or 7 years ago, it's just another avenue that survivors and patients and families that are dealing with breast cancer can reach out and teach young people like yourself about breast cancer and breast cancer awareness.
Now, the program that they have at the Northtown Area High School, are they going to reach out to the community to help?
Absolutely. In this year, I hope to reach out to more women in the community. We started the program back 6 or 7 years ago, and we were able to assist women with mammograms. We don't have the funds to do that right now, but we're still trying to get the word out because we believe that knowledge is power, and if you know about the warning signs, and if the women go and get their mammograms when they're supposed to, which is supposed to be starting at age 40, sometimes age 30, depending on what your demographics is. But just getting the word out helps people a lot. And I'm happy to say, and I tell people all this time, we've saved at least 6 women's lives with this program because they went and got their mammogram, had a detection on a mammogram, had stage 1 cancer, and they went and got it treated, and they're living and breathing and talking about it today. So that's a real good thing for the students and for our program.
So is there anything else you'd like to add?
If students want to sign up for the Breast Cancer Awareness Club, they can do that in room 316 during the month of October. And then we'll have meetings once a month after school in room 316, and they should check their homeroom mailboxes for passes for those meetings. And I've got to hand it to organizations like the Norristown football team for wearing pink ribbons on their t-shirts, and for other activities and other programs that are helping support it in small ways or in big ways. Everybody can lend a hand. I know Mrs. Lupo is walking in a walk this weekend, and she's going to be walking something of upwards of 100 miles. She's doing her part for it in a little way that's going to help her community and people around her. So everybody can help. We don't have to just do it in October. Just because it's Breast Cancer Awareness Month in October doesn't mean we do everything in October and then forget about it the rest of the year, because you ask a breast cancer patient, do you have cancer only 1 month a year? No, it's all year round, and it's a lifetime. And even after you've been cured or you've been cancer-free for a number of years, it's still affecting you. So we want to keep on working every single day to help fight breast cancer.
That's good. Oh, well, thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
And I just spoke to Mr. Schaefer about the Breast Cancer Awareness Club. Now back to the Eagle's Eye.
Oh, hello there. We were just deep in thought.
Yes, we were. Philosophical thought.
Yeah. And if you enjoy philosophical thinking like Roxanne and I do, you should check out this next segment, which is actually a spotlight of the philosophy elective at our school.
That is very interesting. I shall be very deep into watching that one.
Yeah, Proxton and I already take philosophy, so we're changed people already, obviously, because you can see how deep we're thinking.
So deep, our voices are calmer.
Yes, calmer.
Yes.
So, let's go check that out.
Yes.
Hey guys, my name is Pilar Gomez. Throughout the course of the show, we're going to be showing elective spotlight, and this week we chose Mr. Doyle's philosophy class, which is available for 11th and 12th graders. Let's see what that's all about.
So philosophy, I would say, is a way of thinking about things. It's when you, it's taking it from like I guess starting from like thought and then going to the physical instead of like looking at physical things and then going to thought. It's like it's abstract ideas. It's not, you know, math on paper or like physical things that are proven. It's ideas that are proven right or wrong. But the important thing is the journey of thinking about it and not the end product.
Proper, those rights are unavailable. Right? The opposite of sort of this idea.
When we come in, Mr. Doyle usually gives us some kind of a piece of information or a question to think about, and then we talk about it and debate it, and we're told that we're wrong, and we're told that we have definitely more thinking to do, and then he shows us kind of the thoughts of the previous philosophers, like the Greek philosophers we're talking about now, and we see how opinions and ideas have changed with our culture and with everything that's going on today. He's very lenient and he listens to you and he proves you wrong. It's just a very, very beneficial class, even to people who are kind of insecure about raising their hand or saying what they want, and it's just very open and it's really fun.
I just want you to struggle with this idea. I don't care if you agree. I
feel like he created an idea just so he could just not be wrong, like just so he was infallible.
No, that's what and that's not what he's doing. Really.
I actually said something about fairness in mine. They said that it has to be unbiased to be fair.
I had heard about Mr. Doyle's teaching style and his techniques, and it sounded like a huge challenge and something that would definitely keep my mind interested, so that was something that I was looking forward to.
Take lots of notes and participate and pay attention.
Everything I've written, just my opinion, I'm not God. One of the few philosophers really say, I'm doing my best, but I can't guarantee you I'm right.
My overall impression of the class is that it is extremely interesting and amusing, but also it makes us think really hard about what life is.
All food institutions should serve smaller portions and healthier options.
Well, right now we're talking about how we're being distracted by different things that we have in our society, like internet and computers and different television things.
Just so people wouldn't be so concerned with being, the best and making the most money and getting out, rather just focus on being what they can get out of life.
It's not like most classes. Most of the time you're wrong, but looking to change that once you have an enlightened perspective of things.
This class is more about beliefs than actual science, and it's not fact-based, I guess.
Would talk to him. A river once supposedly rose up and said, "Hey, Pythagoras, how you doing?" Okay? That he had a thigh made of gold. His thigh was made of gold. I'm not going to give you any more than what they said about it.
You have to have the right mindset to take it. You have to be willing to think abstractly and not be someone who always deals in absolutes.
Thus far, it's amazing. It's really informative. It's captivating. It's new ideas that are presented in a different way so that everybody can find something that's interesting about it. I find it really interesting, and to sit there, and Mr. Doyle's great, and just sit there and have him kind of pick at my mind and see what's in there, and it's really fun. It intellectually challenges me.
This class is different because, well, first of all, it's more lecture-based, and it also really encourages us to think outside the box and learn 100 different things.
Pythagoras is as much myth as he is reality. They believe during the time and after his life that he could speak to animals?
I would suggest them to take it, first of all, because it's really interesting, and I would also suggest them to pay really good attention because Doyle is an awesome teacher.
Be open and listen to everyone else's ideas and just to really just open your mind.
Prepare to meet your doom. My stick broke. I'm dead. That was intense.
Yes, that took about 1 minute to choreograph our little sword fight from Macbeth, which I have to say is not that bad. I broke her sword because, what can I say, I am the mighty Macbeth here.
Her stick was bigger than mine.
Anywho, we're going to be talking about the Barn Playhouse, which I actually got a chance to go to see just the other day. And so, yeah, that's where this sword fight was inspired because they had a really cool one there, let me tell you, with real swords. But who exactly are we interviewing for this?
We're interviewing Catalina Stevenson and Jason August about their experience at the Barn Playhouse. So let's go check that out.
Check it out!
Hello, my name is Pilar Gomez, and I am here with Jason and Catalina to talk about Macbeth. How are you guys?
Good, you?
Good, how are you? Good, thank you. So where did you guys see Macbeth?
We saw it at the Barn Playhouse.
Cool. Who went with you?
We went with both the gifted kids who signed up for it and some of Mr. Fazzini's students.
And then some other people too.
So with a class?
Yeah.
Okay. What did you guys like most about it?
I liked the sword fighting and the choreography from that.
Nice. What about you?
I really liked all the different special effects that they put in because they had a bunch of fire effects and some really cool lighting. So.
Okay. What do you guys think kids should see live theater?
Because it's a good experience. It's something new to try. I mean, most people usually don't do that, so you get to see some new stuff.
Okay. Can you tell us something that stood out in this particular production?
I think definitely all the special effects that they used was really cool. Like I said, they had different fire effects, and they had a lot of fog and smoke machines and lighting, which really made the play more exciting for the viewer.
Mm-hmm. Did you read Macbeth before going?
Yeah, we read it for class, so.
Okay. And did that help to understand it?
I definitely think, I read it too, so I thought it was really, I knew what was going on, so if there was a part where I wasn't really understanding their language, I knew what was going on so I could catch it right back up.
Okay, is there anything else you would like to add?
I just think that if you want to see it, it's a good experience, just something new.
Great.
Okay.
All right, well, my name is Pilar Gomez, and we just talked to Jason and Catalina about the play Macbeth, and now back to the Eagle's Eye.
All right, I am currently blinded by the sun, but Roxanne seems to be pretty comfortable.
Yep, so that's it for this week's episode. I'm really tired. Playing on this playground took a lot out of me. And Sarah?
Yeah, I'm tired too, but I wish I could sleep with the suns in my eyes, so I'm going to get up and move soon.
Okay, I'm going to sit here for a little bit probably.
All right, so make sure you guys come check us out next week.
Check us out. I'm Roxanne Ballin.
And I'm Sarah Pitkin signing off.
Oh my God.
Check it out, gas prices going up sky high.
What? No, that's more of a monkey, right? A gorilla's like...
Hold on, let me think about it. See, I have to think. Like, I'm bad at this. Like, I need to think what I say before I say it. And that is why I'm always screwing up in philosophy.
I'm stuck. Hold on, hold this.
those were the Gorilla Girls, and
Hurry up and come out here and interview me. Thank you.
What? I'm interviewing you.
I mean, well, make it so that it happens soon.
Come on, Sarah, don't break the thing. All right.
This is like, it feels like it's gonna hurt.
Okay, we're